Hello, Namaste children. How are you? I hope the revision is going on well. Now, let us see how to present an answer in the final exam. It can be a numerical or a derivation or whatever.
నాకు తెలుసు
ఆ, ఏమిట్రా మార్జిన్లు కూడా గీస్తున్నావు?
Okay, but why do we need this? Why should we know this information? You know that in weekly or monthly examinations, you might have seen already. If you present the answer properly, you are creating an impression on the evaluator that this kid knows something about the subject or this kid has interest in the subject. So when that impression is there it can change few things while correction and the score also. So you already know this one, just I'm reminding you. Okay, so let's dive into the concept. So first of all, let us see how to present a derivation. How will you start a derivation? Just think about this first.
அவ இன்ட்ரடக்ஷன் என்னன்னா ஒரு பாத்திக்க ரயில்ல கால்ல தட 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 தட.
Okay, so let us see some methods, okay, some steps to be followed while writing a derivation. First of all, what should we start with? Maybe a diagram or explanation, a paragraph, right? So first of all, we are writing with a description. What will we write in this? What are the terms we used? Or if there is any diagram, you can add that and mention the what are the vectors you used or quantities you used in the diagram or during the equations. Okay, let E be the electric field at some point, let F be the force or something. After finishing the description, a small paragraph, then we start with the equation part. Okay, starting with an equation, and while writing equation also mention which law or which principle you are using. For example, according to Gauss law or according to Ampere circuital law. This is the equation. Then based on this equation, this comes next in a proper order. You should always see that your steps are going towards your target. What is your target? The final equation. What are you going to prove or derive? Okay, each and every step should lead towards that side, right? There should not be any side tracks and all. Next, so after doing all the steps, you obtain the final equation. So you proved some E is equal to something. Will it stop there? No, one more step is there. The last step, write a proper conclusion. What is a conclusion? Based on the question, whether they may ask to derive something or they may ask to prove something. So finally, you obtain some equation. You have to explain that line in a single line. One sentence is enough. Okay, so this is the expression for electric field, or we can say so. Hence, we can say that electric field is depending on square of the distance or inversely proportional to something. We have to mention a single line, right? So by using these steps, let us see a small example. Okay, one 5 mark derivation, not 5 mark, actually a 3 mark derivation, which can be a part of long answer question also. Let us see. So look at this one. A simple question: electric field due to an infinitely large charged sheet. So see, there are different ways of asking the same question. You can see these three. You can ask just to prove the equation, or obtain the equation, or prove that it is independent of the distance. Okay. So now how do we start? For all these things, the beginning is the similar. We will start with a diagram and some paragraph explaining all the terms. And if it is a sheet of charge, you can take a cylindrical Gaussian surface, or you can also draw like this, a parallelopiped Gaussian surface. Anything is okay. So first two steps, description and diagram completed. What next? Equation part. So going to that. So these are the different equations we'll obtain by using the electric field and the ds, dot product and all, obtaining flux on lateral surface, both faces, obtained everything. Finally got the total flux. Then what should we mention? The main concept in the question is Gauss law. Without mentioning the name, you can't finish this derivation. You have to mention it. So then according to Gauss law, phi is this one and making them equal, you can find out finally E value, isn't it? So that is done. EA is equal to Q by epsilon naught, this one, that one, finished. After this, Okay, meanwhile you are mentioning this one, E into A equal to Q by epsilon naught. So E equal to Q by this one, finished. Finally, conclusion. What is the conclusion? Okay, equation is same, but how does the conclusion change based on the question? See, for the first question, if they asked just obtain the equation, so you will write, okay, hence electric field E equal to sigma by 2 epsilon naught. This is the equation for electric field at certain point, over. If they ask, prove that E is independent of distance. Now you have to mention. Conclusion is E equal to sigma by 2 epsilon naught. There is no distance term in this. There is no R or D, which means E is not depending on distance, over. Finally, if they ask, prove that it is a uniform field. Again same, it is not depending on distance. Hence it is same everywhere. So uniform field, finished. Okay, that's it. Conclusion, nothing else. So that's how you can write a derivation. I gave a simple example. You can make some changes in this accordingly. Okay.
అహం భో అభివాదే నేనందుకోండి.
Okay, our next part is numericals. How to present a numerical. So presentation in numericals also, do we need this? Yeah, obviously. In numericals, there are some steps according to CBSE guidelines also. There are some steps you must follow. Okay, what are they? First of all, everybody knows this. First, while starting a numerical, you should mention what is given in the question. That too with the proper unit. If all of them are given in SI unit, there is no problem at all. We use directly. Or all of them are given in CGS, then no problem. You can use it direct calculations. But if different units are there, then convert everything into proper units, a single system, then start the calculation or substitution. Okay. So quantity is mentioned. What next? Now mention which equation you are using or which law you are using according to Gauss law, according to some law, according to some theorem, whatever it is. Okay. You wrote, you mentioned the concept. Then substitute the given equations in that. After writing according to Gauss law, you wrote the formula, now substitute. Okay. In substitution, what will you do? You will write all these given quantities in that formula. Simple. Then what? Start calculation, obviously. Okay. For calculation also, there are some marks based on the weightage. If it is 3 marks question, calculation will have maybe half mark or 1 mark. So like this, it is divided. So calculation is essential. You have to write at least 2-3 steps. After that, finally you got the answer. Okay. But here is the most common mistake people do, SI units or whatever the units it is. For the final answer should be written with proper unit, otherwise half mark, remember. Okay. So this is the way you can write a numerical. Okay. So next part is diagrams.
చూసుడే లేటు ఫుల్ నైట్ అవుట్ చేసి గీసినామా సార్.
How should we show a diagram? Simple. Don't do more decorations, shadings and all. Keep it simple but neat. And see that all quantities are shown properly in the diagram. And also if there are any vectors, angles, show them properly and see that it will look meaningful. Okay, neatly. No need not do more decorations. You need not show your artistic skills in this. Just show that you know about this concept enough. Okay, so that's it, diagrams. So going to next part. What is the next one? Sometimes they ask questions like any 3 applications or any 2 advantages, any 2 disadvantages, these type of questions. See, if they ask for some, like say 3 points, what should you do? You mention minimum 4 points. Always try to write one extra point. You'll ask why. There are 2 benefits in this. First one, suppose one of the points you wrote went somewhere wrong, maybe in the, sometimes by overlook you may do some small mistakes, it may happen, then the extra point can save you. Not only that, the main benefit is when you write some extra point, again coming to the first thing we discussed, impression. You are telling that you know something about this, something more about this. Okay, you're not just stop because this is the question, this is the answer, go. You're not leaving like that. You're writing something extra, hence creating some impression. But don't write 3-4 points extra, that is waste of time. Okay, so going to the next. So next thing is writing differences. Okay. So how will you start differences? You can see most of the people write this in tabular form. Always the best way to write differences. For example, see this one. Step up and step down differences. Here, in the first point, we wrote about number of turns, right, on both sides. Second point, we wrote about voltage on both sides, relevant to each other. That's how we are showing the difference. And in another way, how can we write? If you want to write in point wise, how can I write? Let us see. So observe here, the same points we have mentioned, but see how in the point wise. Okay, in step down, we mentioned about number of turns in both step up and step down in a single point. Now coming to second point, here we are mentioning about voltage in both the transformers. So that's how you have to tell differences. If I write first step up entire paragraph and then step down entire paragraph, that is not difference, that is description, isn't it? And look at this, what some people do. They write the same difference on both sides, one difference, and they feel these are 2 points. So this is not correct. You have to avoid this. Okay. Mention your friends who write in this way in the comment section. So that's all information. I hope it is helpful to you. And please don't forget no and subscription, sharing to your friends. Don't forget this, please. Thank you. All the best. Jai Hind.